Yeah? Okay. I let a lot of new people in, so I like to repeat myself, but I know a lot of people are trying, so thank you for being here. Hi, my name is Allie Carter. My mom right here is my twin, Shelly Carter. Oh, I know, right? So confused. So, let's pray. I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm from the south side of heaven. I really do believe that. I got that from a TikTok sound, but I really do believe I'm from the south side of heaven because God is not done with me yet. And I've seen him work. So I'm not trying to push him at anybody because I know everybody is on their own path. I've been many different religions trying to find peace, so I get it. More than you know, I get it. So if you need a second to come on back, because we all can agree on the message, okay? Dear Jesus, we just thank you for this day and this time together. God, we just ask that you encamp your angels around all of us on this live. God, we just ask that you open the minds, hearts, and ears of those listening. And we thank you so much for the breath in our lungs. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay. I'm going to turn the comments off for a second because I just need y'all to be right here with me, and then I'll turn them back on. Okay? Cool. Thank you for screen recording. If you can, I'm gonna start over. Okay? My name is Allison Carter. Yes, that is my legal name. Today is October 23rd. 2024. Yeah, that'll help. I have been drowning in my PTSD. And I know that I'm really trying, and I'm also really trying to have this backbone, and I'm really trying, okay? But I've been drowning in my PTSD. I can't sleep. When you know the truth and when you understand what we're talking about, you won't be able to sleep either. When you understand that there's a child being trafficked, brutalized, raped, tortured right now as we speak, you won't be able to sleep either. When you realize how much your government is lying to you about, everything is in your face, and some of it you've enabled, you won't be able to sleep. So, my nightmares and my flashbacks have been kicking my ass. I am going to be so blunt about that. If you have PTSD, then you understand that sometimes your PTSD will start PTSDing, and there is nothing that you can do to stop it. You're like, look, I'm good. I don't know why we're doing this right now, but it won't stop. My skin is crawling. And I'm going to be posting a video. I'm trying to post it tonight in order for y'all to catch it, because I think it's going to get blocked the second that it goes up. Maybe. I don't know. So I was going to try to post it tonight. If it's not posted tonight, it'll be posted in the morning. There are evidence drops that I've posted before, but some of you have not seen it, and some of you didn't know what you were looking at. I'm a survivor of satanic ritual abuse, child trafficking, foster care, and so much more. MK Ultra, that has been since I was 3 months old. CPS reports were endless. CPS reports, even though they had bruises, they had proof. At one point, my surrogate was selling tapes to law enforcement from the back of her closet after she was abusing me and her other kids. You'll see a lot in the paperwork that it was evaluated out at 4 years old was the first time I was raped without drugs, without anything. That's the first time I was like, oh, okay. I was locked in a room because I fought back. And then after her and her boyfriend did what they wanted to me, they put me out in the driveway in Ritchie Canyon. Nobody did anything. When it was taken to court, it was evaluated out. Can y'all hear me? Did I cut out? No? Okay, cool. At a very young age, I always thought, what is wrong with me? That stuff keeps happening to me. It's my fault. By 13 years old, I started to ask questions, and I started to run. I started to fight back. I started to see that something wasn't right. I thought everything was normal for a very long time. Till about 13 years old, I was hypersexual after being raped so many times by my surrogate's boyfriends, in and out of problems. At one point, I tried to kill myself because I thought that was the only way out. I went from trying to overdose on pills, trying to slit my wrist, trying to jump into traffic. I did everything because I was just like, there's no other way for me besides being somebody's puppet, punching bag, and sex slave. So I tried to kill myself. 14 and a half, 15. I ended up with so many CPS reports, so many suicide attempts, so much that finally, after going to Canyon Ridge Hospital for over a month, they decided to put me in foster care. When I went into foster care, I thought everything was going to be fine. We were going to be good. I was going to go to school. I would be loved. I would meet a new family and live happily ever after. No. Jumped into things. Went to so many foster homes, group homes, I lost count. Never stayed anywhere longer than 2 to 3 weeks. Never stayed anywhere longer than a month. Attended 19 high schools in 1 year in the time that I was in foster care. I graduated 2 weeks before my class. Thank you very much. Ha ha. I wasn't supposed to. I walked into California school district with like 12 units as a senior. And if you know anything about credits out here, or not out here, I'm not in California right now, but in California, in the U.S., I know there's some of you who are from different countries. Thank you, by the way. You need, I think, 230 or 260 to graduate as a senior. I didn't have that, and it wasn't going to work. And everybody kept telling me, I had one of my teachers from my school tell me I was pretty enough to become a cocktail waitress or Hooters, so I should just give up while I was ahead. I ended up graduating 2 weeks before my class because my mom pushed me because I finally went home. But it was a long story because I went from 15 years old to so many foster and group homes to small trafficking, getting in a car, doing little stuff with people because they told me to, because I was very naive and just looking for peace and for somebody to love me. And then I went into elite trafficking. At 16 and a half, I was auctioned to Russia. At that moment, I realized I'm not coming back. I was sold to the man for a weekend. And I was supposed to go with him for a week. And in that small time that I was with this man, I was like, he hates Americans. And I didn't understand at that time. I was 15. I did not understand what that meant for people out of the country. I was taken out of the country while in foster care, custody. Everything was different. The smells were different. The street signs, the doors, the walls, everything was just different. And I thought, like, God, if I could just please go back to the States, I swear I will get away from this man. I will figure something out. The way he treated me, I knew that if I was to spend more than a few days with him, I was lucky enough to come back, that he was going to kill me. So I ran from foster care, from Child Protective Services custody. Went missing AWOL for a year straight. My pimps had a lot of police officers, authority in their back pocket. When it comes to Child Protective Services, there's no oversight. There is no boss. There is an ombudsman. That ombudsman of Riverside County Child Protective Services custody, I called, my mom called, people called, we put in reports, we put in emails, talked to her at one point and told her everything that was going on. She said she would help, and then she disappeared and got taken out of her position. A few weeks later, after I contacted her, I always knew that every time I told somebody who I was, whatever connections are in my life, there's a lot of holes to my life as well. Still I'm not sure of. But all the holes and connections to my story, I knew every time I introduced myself, somebody was always like, oh, it's you. And I didn't know what that meant. A lot of people knew me and I didn't know them. Nobody helped. People are quick to say that they will help. Money changes people. Promises change people. I've seen people, I've walked into a job, I've been high. I told them the truth. I'm 14 years old, I'm 15 years old. This is the truth, this is what's going on. And I've had people respond to me and tell me, you're the same age as my daughter and not for tonight. I've had people tell me some wild stuff on jobs. Treat it like therapy for their sick fantasies. It's not just the elite. It's everybody in the middle. It's everybody in between, and it's everybody on the bottom. Down to the people who clean the sex toys got issues. Okay, so you think that it's just the elite that are using things and hurting people, but there are people who clean sex toys for elite. Because that's their job and they come in for cleanup, then if there is somebody who is laying there after a job, then they will still go after you because, hey, what is anybody gonna do? If you understood how deep this world goes, you would be sick. You would be beaten down doors. The only reason why some people are not, unfortunately, the only reason why some people are not is because it's not theirs. It's not a personal problem for them. It's not their child. It's not someone they love. So they think it's not their fight. It is your fight. It's happened in front of you. It's been enabled by people who sign the paychecks of the elite. When you stream their music, when you buy their t-shirts, when you are following their social medias, you sign their paycheck. These people don't have a job. Their job is to fool you. That's their job. Their job is to sell you something and make you believe it in order to sign their paycheck. That's their job. For a very long time, I have always said it's not just one side, it's red and blue side, it's everybody in the middle that are guilty. When I say everybody, I am everybody. At one point when I got out, I pretended like nothing mattered. That's why a lot of people call me traitor. It's my fault. I hate you. You just left me. I got out. I made a choice. And at one point I wasn't healed. I was just out. Freedom is not free. That's not what that means. So when I got out, I was just out. And I was on a whole other level of, it didn't matter. It didn't matter because I knew there was nothing I could do. It didn't matter because I knew this would happen. If I ever tried to tell, I knew nobody would hear me. Just the same way nobody tried to hear me when I was a child. The same way the authorities and the adults that were supposed to protect me, they did not. They were protected by the predators. My mom has been fighting for me for a very long time. I met her when I was 14, 15. She didn't get to adopt me until I was 19 because at the time nobody wanted me, but nobody could have me either. So everybody gave her hell. There are people who keep saying handler. Do you know what a handler is? Do you honestly know what a handler is? A handler is somebody who covers things up. A handler is somebody who makes sure you stay in the turmoil that you're going through and you're tortured for the rest of your life. A handler is somebody who is not going to allow something to be exposed to the light because they keep everything in the dark. So for those of you who are seeing really messed up people mention the words handler, do they know what a handler is or do they not? Because if you understood what a handler is, it ain't the definition of the woman that's sitting next to me. A lot of people don't know what the definition of a mother is either. A mom and a mother are two different things. Anybody can be a mother. Anyone, any female can be a mother. It takes a real woman to be a mom. It takes one hell of a woman to go through the hardships and the commitment to be someone's mother. To say that I am here through the tough, the hard, the ugly, the battered, the bruised, and the broken. Not just for the good part and the pretty part. I'm here for it all. I'm here through with losing sleep. I'm here with worry. I'm here with overwhelming fears of what could possibly happen. That's a mother. That's a mom. A mother is somebody who can just give life and say, yeah, I did it. Pop them out like guppies. But when are they going to take care of them? Moms are females that have stepped in because other women refuse to be one. That's my mom. And if you don't understand that, I could be a whole different person, yet I'm sitting here talking to you. I have my sanity. Trying to keep it. I have my religion. And it's getting shaky sometimes. I'm trying not to lose my spot in heaven. Okay? But in order for me to be sitting here talking to you and speaking on my spot in heaven, it's because of her. Alright? Like, it's God. But second of all, it's because of her. Second to God, it's this woman. So for those of you who don't understand that, you probably had a messed up relationship with the person that you're supposed to call mom too, but she was a mother. I'm sorry. Don't get mad at mine because you didn't have yours. That's all I gotta say about that. My surrogate was a evil piece of shit. That woman is so evil, there's no denying it. You can see it. You could see it in the paperwork. You could see it in the actions. You could see it in how hard I fought as a child, but still was silenced. If you understood the hell I went through, real people see real people, so thank you for that. I'm going to release something, and it has a CPS document, a rape kit. I've had there's files, stacks of CPS documents, and somebody burned a building down, thought that they were just going to get rid of it because they didn't want my truth to come out. Too late. Too late. There are stacks and copies all over the United States of America and out of it. Too late. Okay. Police reports, SART kits, rape kits. I've had so many rape kits, I've lost count. I was abused so many times, I lost count. I really did lose count. At one point I thought like, hey, I'm gonna just maybe I'll have that story one day. Okay, it happened like 5 times. It happened like 7 times. It happened like 10 times. After so many, I lost count. I'm not in a relationship. I never want to be. I feel like from the things that I've went through, I don't see myself in a relationship because I never want to hurt somebody that's trying to make something. I know that me not being able to have kids has nothing to do with hurting someone's vision, but I can't have kids of my own, which is fine because there's enough kids in this world that there's so many kids who deserve a home and a family, and I'm one of them. That I understand that adopting is the most beautiful thing, and DNA doesn't take a family, and my child doesn't need to look like me in order to be a part of me. I get that. I get it. I have a lot of dancers that are my babies. Everybody that has ever been in my eyesight, I've taught. I used to teach special needs kids, every age child up to adults. And every person that was in my eyesight is my baby. And I would protect with my life. They don't need to look like me, but there's a part of me that you can see in their heart. And that's all that I admire that. But I don't think I could ever be in a relationship. Again, because of all the things that I've been through, I just feel like it's not a thing. Haven't been in a relationship, haven't had sex in years. Not planning to. Okay, I am good. I've had a lot of this life where I got more under my belt than I need. So it's cool. It's cool. I'm married to Jesus. I wear a purity ring. This is not a wedding ring for those who keep asking. It's a purity ring. With Corinthians, love is patient, love is kind, love is not jealous. Corinthians,
I think it's 10:13.
Corinthians 10:13?
Maybe.
1 Corinthians? I told you guys not done with me yet. So, I'll be posting a video of CPS document, CPS reports by date, a rape kit, some things in the CPS reports, and one of the Johns that I have had too many orders with. I say that I'm broken, but I know that I'm not broken beyond repair. I know that I'm loved more than I can imagine. I have a family now, thanks to y'all. So many 90s angels that have been my mom's biggest support team, and family that we never thought we would have. That family has the insurance drops that I'm going to drop unredacted. I've redacted a lot because, unfortunately, and I'm not inciting any violence, for quality assurance purposes, unfortunately, there are some people who are still alive. Even though some people believe they're dead. There are some people who are unfortunately still alive. And because of that, somebody is waiting for me to say a specific sentence to give a green light to some jails. I don't care. I really don't care, but I'm being smart about some things because my case was not a case that just had me on it. There were other minors on the case. So there's some things that are redacted. Now, I've kept things redacted because if I unredact them, there's going to be an issue, and some people don't deserve that attention. However, they do deserve some questions to be asked and answered. How the hell did this happen? Where were you? What were you doing when your child was missing? Did you know that your child was being trafficked? How many times did CPS get called? Why were they getting called? Is the hospital for criminally insane something that, if you've been there, should you really have kids? Was I missing from Child Protective Services custody for a year straight? Where the hell was everybody? And then, if I'm 30 now, where was everybody before? So many questions, right? But none are answered. However, I know there's no justice for me. The whole point of this video, say it with me, is the children. Every time people get distracted, put them back towards the who? The children. When we are talking about cases beyond cases, elite and parties, assaults and the things that are going on in the news, we are not talking about just adults. We are talking about children. Quiet on the Set. That documentary that they did. They did that documentary, but you notice they stayed away from certain words like pedophile. They stayed away from certain words like MK Ultra. They stayed away from certain words to make sure that they walked y'all up to that door, but they didn't knock on it. They walked you guys up to the door, but they didn't tell you the God honest truth. They made sure that you were cushioned enough to say, oh, maybe they're not complicit. Bullshit. They are. You should be demanding answers from all the celebrities that are quiet. Answers your question of who's involved with the Diddy client list. It answers your question of who is involved with the Ghislaine Maxwell list. It answers your question of who's on those flight logs. It answers your question of who's been on those islands. It answers your questions of who all was involved in raping, abusing, and torturing children. Where did those children come from? People still are not asking. Where did those children come from? People are still not checking Child Protective Services custody. Did you get an Amber Alert for them? No. Did anybody question that neighbor of Diddy's? He said there were buses coming at 3 a.m. Did anybody ask what kind of buses? Who was driving the bus? Where did that bus go? How many kids was on that bus? Why didn't anybody say anything? If you went to a Diddy party, why the hell are you protecting the predators that weren't protecting a child? How many times does it need to be in your face? Are you not angry? Some people are sitting here like, hell yeah, I am. Are you? Are you? Really? Are you? How angry? I'm not inciting any damn thing, but how angry? Because when we talk about Black Lives Matter, when they understood what that case was about, the streets were on fire. Buildings were getting burned. People were looting their own neighborhoods, talking about reparations. Do you understand what's going on with children? You want to know who needs reparations? Foster kids. That's who needs some reparations. Foster kids. When you understand how evil the foster system is, the streets should be packed. I'm waiting on the day we wake up and the streets are full. I'll be out there with you. I'll be out there with you. I'm not inciting any violence, but I will be out there with you. We, not we will be out there with you. But how angry are you? Because we've tried everything. And I mean everything. Some people are going to get so upset with the next drop. Some people are going to be a little stunned with the next arrest. It's coming. Again, there will be no accidental fires, no car accidents, no accidental car accidents. We are not carrying anything in this car that cannot be accounted for. We are not carrying any weapons. We are not suicidal. We are not homicidal. We know that God has got to do what he needs to do. The vengeance is not ours, it's the Lord's. I'm not who they made me to be, and we waiting. Okay? Please, I'm begging you to do something. Anything. Anything. I feel like I'm screaming underwater a lot. 90s, if you've counted the cost, and some people are like, what does that mean? We don't need your money, but your presence is powerful. if we're in your area and you can caravan with us if we need to get to one spot to another, if you can stand and be a witness. There's angels that have, we sleep in our car and live in our car, but there's angels that have followed us to a gas station and we told them we sleeping right here, so they've slept in their car right next to us because all hell was breaking loose. But if you've counted the cost, you know that what's meant for me will probably come at you. This is a historical evil. This is decades worth of evil. So nobody is going to take this lightly. The people who are claiming that they know me, you're exhausting. You're exhausting if you're lying. Why? I'm not a celebrity. My pain is not a billboard. And who wants to be the face of trafficking? We're not talking about, I'm not an influencer. This does not influence you to do makeup. Okay? This is the truth. Nobody should have to influence you to be influenced. You shouldn't need an influencer to be influenced, to get up off your ass and do what is right, because it could be somebody that you love. That's it, and that's all. We fighting in a different way. There's mounds of evidence, and I don't trust people right now because I've already tried. We've been there. We've been screaming for I don't know how long, since we were a baby, and then 4 or 5 years ago we started screaming on here. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that this is the hill that we die on. There are some people who are really upset by us saying what we are about to say. There are some people that are really upset that if this arrest goes through with the females I'm thinking it's supposed to go through with, some people really love Ellen and Oprah and Whoopi herself. MK Ultra is not a joke. Somebody has the remote to somebody else's brain. Somebody is threatening that they're going to drop me where I stand on Halloween night because you're conjuring spells and doing satanic rituals so big that it's helping the spirits. You know when they say they release the spirits over the city and the spirits are roaming and they're joking about Halloween. That is not a joke. That is not a joke at all. They are conjuring the hell out of demons. Some people are into witchcraft. I know there's some people that are into witchcraft on here. We've talked about this. We don't do that. We don't play with that stuff. But we appreciate that you're sitting here and you're doing something for the children. You're trying to listen for the children. But we don't need your problems. We got enough, as you can see. But that shit is not a joke. It's not a joke at all. When you understand how spirits work, it's not a joke. CERN works, it's not a joke. So the amount of rituals and things that they are conjuring in your face, you already know that, because when you go to the bookstore, you see satanic books. When you go to church, you understand, because what do you think you go to church for? If you go to church, what do you think you go to church for? What do you think those stories in your Bible are for? Do you think that they didn't exist before? Do you think that they don't exist now? That is your war manual to exactly what is happening right now. Right now. That's not a joke. Nephilim giants, and that is not a joke. What you are fighting and praying against in your Bible is what you are fighting and praying against right now. We do not battle against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, rulers, and spirits of this earth. I may have said that wrong. Don't follow me. Sometimes you don't follow me that way. You might go on a very narrow road close to heat. Like I don't. I'm still working on me. Okay, but Ephesians 6:12 is one of my favorite verses. If I can spout it off right. However, we do not battle against flesh and blood. All right, this is a war against good versus evil, and if you can feel that, this is a war for our nation right now. No matter what side you are on, it's a war for our nation. It's a war for our children. It hasn't stopped. You're just now understanding and welcoming to the party of what's going on. This is not new either. Okay? So, we've gotten so many threats. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna drop you. Do it.
Go ahead. Try it.
Do it.
I don't think it's going to work the way you think it's going to work.
Do it. My programming's broken. I know some of you don't get that, but my programming's broken. And whatever is not broken, oh, it's on its way. It's on its way. So yeah, there's some things that you can still knock me on my ass with, but you trust and believe you bet not let me get back up, okay? Okay. We gotta go, and we thank you for listening. A lot's about to come out. Another arrest is coming again. Watch for those fires. Explosions make fires too. Explosions make accidental fires too. And then, oops, we don't know how that happened. And then you look into it and you see that it's tied to something that's tied to something that's tied to something that's tied to trafficking. And then you realize, oh, it wasn't just an explosion or a fire. It wasn't an accident. How many things does it take? If people can get in the streets over a convict, why the hell can't people get in the streets over the children? What is going to fuel your rage for the children? Why are you waiting on a release to fuel your rage? People should be like, what the? We're talking about kids? Huh? What? No! Somebody better answer something. How many more kids do you need? How many more need to be swept under the rug? How many more need to be silenced for you to say, oh, enough? It's all of our war. So what are you going to do to fight? If you hit my mom and I, there are people all over this world that will never let it go. It's been too long. You hear me? It's been way too long. So now there are people all around this world that will never let it go. Eventually, you won't be able to walk down the street. I pray for that day for so many predators. I pray for that day where you feel an inch of what you've done to your victims. They don't sleep. Every smell sometimes triggers them. PTSD is off the chain on days that you feel like you are having the best. Every time you think that everything is cool, something floods back, memories kick you in the face, and there is not a damn thing you can do to stop it. Death is too easy for predators. I think death is way too easy. I think that's a cop-out. There are some that can't be helped. There are some that there's no saving them. But I think sometimes that the death is way too easy. You should suffer. You should suffer the way your victims do. The way that when they open their eyes, they're suffering from the bullshit that you caused, and every type of person that you've helped and aided, enabled to make sure that you're protected, they should feel it too. It's not just the top, it's everywhere in between, and unfortunately it's in our own backyard and in our own family. Sometimes it's the worst because it be your own people. If something happens to me or my mama, you think that I'm a problem alive? I'll be a problem in my death too. So will she. Love y'all. Talk soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.